So
Okay.
cool. So how did you build this space out?
This is with one of my one of my partners. Is a build we worked on. Pretty cool. So this is my custom avatar. Of course, I'm wearing my AI Journey X1s. These are my digital collectible shoes.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's an application, of course, through like a lot of these through OBS.
Oh,
Um, so yeah. So let me get started here. Thank you so much for the invitation to Gen AI Con. I've been like just seeing what you've put on social. It looks like an amazing event and some really cool speakers I like followed and checked out their work. So it's really cool to be here
yeah,
and
it's great to have you.
kind of like a fireside chat. But yeah, my name is Xander Sims, creatively known as Xander Love. I'm an artist, designer, and technologist from St. Louis, Missouri, and I've been working in the Web3 space for the last 3 years, mostly creating value by creating content for brands powered by immersive technology, generative AI, and motion graphics. And today, I'm going to be speaking about my latest project called Beyond Dimensions. Um, and Beyond Dimensions is essentially my portfolio. It's a new portfolio of my work in the field for some of the brands I've done, and then some of my own digital artistry interwoven into that. I created it, of course, with the help of generative AI throughout the entire process for coming up with a concept and to a lot of the projects in the actual portfolio. So, can I share the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So, with that intro, I will just show you the video I made. Can you can you see that? I'm not sure.
Yes. Cool.
All right. So that yeah, thank you. That was the intro to
Amazing.
um, Beyond Dimensions. And today I'll just talk about like the genesis of the project, of course, some of the work in there, and how I'm really utilizing animation in my entire workflow, and then the specific tools that I use to create a lot of the projects.
Awesome. Love it.
So, a little bit about me, my background, like I mentioned, is in content creation. So I've been doing that for brands for like the last 10 years. I really love the effect of the human capacity to just augment our experience and bring a bit more to the table. Sorry, 1 second here. Um, so I've had a passion, especially for, started with video editing and then moved to 3D and
Um, and then with the with generative AI now, I've really tuned into a lot more, I guess, advanced animation and artificial intelligence, that kind of really trendy style, and utilizing that and combining it with my already developed tool set, which is mostly in the Adobe Creative Cloud. Um, so the inception of Beyond Dimensions was created basically to take my current offering and the projects I've worked on and present them in a new light, in a new, more inclusive light of everything that I've been using and all the tools I've been using and where the industry's at now. So I wanted to do that in a more creative way, in a more comprehensive way, and demonstrate how I'm combining the intersection of all these creative fields to, create my niche and offering to my clients and with my community. Um, so what is Beyond Dimensions? Um, so that was basically, the title I really loved. Of course, I was when I was creating this with generative AI using ChatGPT to help me a little bit of the concepts. I really liked this specific one because I'm obviously a big fan of science fiction, and I liked the beyond dimensions. Gives me kind of like dimensional, dimensions as in like the metaverse and the AR, VR, XR layer, as well as kind of the dimensional state of human beings and stuff. It's really intriguing to me. So with that, I went with that, and also like with the main tool that I really used for this project was generative expand, and some of the new Photoshop beta features, and just expanding the work beyond aspect ratios, which is for developers, it's like a square or it's a rectangle, and for designers, it's kind of a hassle in the past to recreate things, and we can spend a lot of time with these specific specifications, and it really limits some of our creative output. And so, with some of the new tools and features of generative AI for animation and design, we're able to move beyond that phase. So
Hmm.
my preferred,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
outpainting? Like outpainting to make it like bigger, change the size?
yeah, outpainting is a good one. Or I use Photoshop Beta as generative expand.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of the same thing. You just use the crop tool, draw the dimensions you want, and it will expand the image. Like for instance, like how I'm kind of cropped now in a 16 by 9. We could turn this to a full story graphic, and it would, if we grabbed a screenshot, it would complete the bottom half of my body, and just kind of imagine what it looked like for a 9 by 16 story graphic. Even though we're in a 16 by 9, it'll fill it in, and you can let it do it automatically, or you can prompt it what to do, and it'll give you more choices and variations to go through. And actually, you know what? Maybe this would be a good time to demonstrate what another way that I've utilized that now, with one more quick video.
Generative expand feature powered by Adobe Firefly. And I'm Xander Sims. First, I generated my image inside of Discord with the Midjourney bot. I used the custom zoom tool to kind of get the ratio that I wanted. And that was it for the initial image creation. And then I downloaded the image and opened it with Photoshop Beta. Um, for the generative expand tool, you just use the crop tool. You can select these different aspect ratios to expand the image to your desired dimension, and then you can hit generate. You can let Photoshop do that automatically, or you can influence the prompt yourself and take over the prompt engineering and do some trial and error images until you get your desired result. Next, I added pop just to make the colors boost a bit more, and then I added in my title. Exported, and it is ready to go. That fast. Beyond Dimensions by Xander Sims. It's coming soon. Try it out yourself and see what you can create. Peace.
Hmm. Is it meant to be like a 360 image that you could probably put like goggles on and like look around you?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like the yeah, you can change any of those dimensions, do that for like skyboxes too, the next
Skybox. Okay.
yeah.
So you can do that. You can bring it into Photoshop, or there is a skybox feature in Photoshop.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know that, but yeah, basically, with this, that was my plan next, to kind of make it in, my portfolio, and actually like interactive portfolio, and of course bring it into a digital world or virtual world. And that's one of the cool things. Yeah, you can change those to make panoramic images, expand them to be really large, to fit on billboards, or yeah, skyboxes too. So it's super cool. Like, it's insane. It's just, and it expands the pixels. It's not just like, if you take and stretch the image, it'll be pixelated, of course. So we most of us know that, but this actually like fills in the pixels to where it's still a really high resolution
Awesome. And
and matches the lighting and everything.
that's amazing. Would you be able to walk us through your like generating your own like avatar and this process of like streaming your avatar, then also your digital fashion?
Um, of course. So, I can speak on that pretty
We
quickly.
do have a question, which
Oh,
is Photoshop Skybox a plugin from Unity?
I'm not sure actually. That was Frankie's comment, but the generative expand feature to like if you need the skybox dimensions, you can just make a template one time
Mhm.
and then with the dimensions and then fill in each part, and that's available in the Photoshop beta app. Yeah. And then real quick to the with this setup, this is of course a Ready Player Me designed avatar. I've customized it with their studio feature. And then through a couple partnerships with the company's called Exploded View, and they have a really fun app called Avatar Cam, and you can play with that. I think it's consumer. I think it's out now. I'm in a beta version. We're working together pretty closely on some things, but I think there is a consumer beta version that's in the App Store now. I think it's only on iPhones, maybe on Androids,
Oh,
but you
cool.
can check that out.
So you're filming from your iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So you connect
And then
from your own.
yeah, custom application, and then integrate interface through OBS.
Cool. And how do you get your clothing on your own Ready Player Me avatar? Did you have to like, did you create that separately, or was it part of the kind of customization area? When you go through and you create your avatar, you can pick.
They don't have that yet. It's with their studio feature for more developers and stuff. You can apply for. You can actually import to your own assets. Uh, yeah, it's a pretty cool feature. Ready Player Me is doing some really cool things. They've done some things with like animations lately too. Unleashing a library of like animations because I usually use Mixamo, for a lot of my animations as well. But yeah, they're doing a lot of things for developers. But yeah, that Ready Player Me Studio is apply for that, and you can do a lot of customization and even monetization. I think on some platforms.
Awesome. So what's next on your roadmap?
So what's next for me, of course, I just released this new portfolio, Beyond Dimensions, that just encompasses the work. So continuing to work with brands, innovative, forward-thinking brands of that sort. I'm really am utilizing a lot more generative AI in terms of video, and now that Adobe has adopted a lot of the generative AI tools into their ecosystem, that takes care a lot of the licensing for commercial and enterprise use cases. Adobe is one of the most trusted creative partners on the planet, and probably one of the best at licensing. So it's you've got the ethics, and you've got because it's all most of their models are all trained from their massive library of Adobe stock, and yeah, for enterprise and those sort of things, you can utilize those for commercial and enterprise related things. Adobe
So
Firefly.
So if you're working, you're kind of saying that if you're working with an enterprise client who's, maybe a bit cautious around IP issues, they might not be
Exactly.
comfortable with Midjourney, but they would be more comfortable with Adobe Firefly. What would you say is the equivalent of that in the video space? Because, for example, CapCut is ByteDance. I'm not sure how it's trained, but yeah,
Yeah, me
what
either.
would you say is the most ethical kind of video generative AI
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. Well, Adobe's had been using AI in their tools for a while with Adobe Sensei. But so even in like After Effects, Adobe After Effects, Premiere Pro, and even their kind of CapCut equivalent, Premiere Rush. They utilize some of those tools. So I've just started using some of them. I haven't had a use case for video too much other than just experimenting in art, but that's what I'm planning on using. And so the tools that I'm using now to do most of the generative AI video, it's Runway ML, and their suite of generative AI video tools. Yeah, and then I usually combine those with the professional tools like After Effects and uh, yeah, Premiere Pro. Those two video editing tools.
How does Runway actually work? I haven't dabbled in it yet. Do you upload everything yourself, and is it just like image to image interpolation between the images? Or is it the same as say like Midjourney or Adobe Firefly, that it actually it's got its own stock
Oops,
of video?
sorry. It's got a suite. There's a suite of there's a suite there's a suite of features. So
Mhm.
you've got like for video, you've got remove background as one tool. They've got really integrated nicely, so they break down the tools into individual products, and they have a video editor inside the suite. So it's pretty like it's pretty user friendly. It doesn't feel like a super complicated professional grade tool, even though it's wildly powerful. They break it down into each individual thing, like change a image or a video from black and white to color, or remove a background, or the text to image or image to video. They've got them broken down into individual sections that are and I think that's pretty useful. I think it's a really good way to
Mhm.
utilize the tools.
So the only part which is maybe like generative AI in the same way of Midjourney is the text to video then. So they must have full of content, and that's where probably need to deep dive into the licensing side to see
Right.
your
Yeah,
one
what
with
it's trained on. Uh,
yeah.
they do have a feature you can train your own generator, so you can like
Oh, okay.
provide the work you train it off of, so you can make sure it's, you know, just it's all the licensing is there, all the legality is there for you, which is cool. And
Generator.
then also with the still image to video, you can do upload an image, or you can give it, well, you can give it you can give it a prompt, either through an image or a text, and it'll create a video. So even if you like want a video,
Hmm.
you can just type a astronaut tripping through space, and they give you examples too, tripping through space, and it'll like give you a video animation, and then you can expand it to 18 seconds too. I think it was like a 4 second limit. And what people are doing with that is, of course, taking Midjourney images, going into Runway, and then animating them, and then stitching those together in like a CapCut. One of the most viral ones. That's what they did. They took it in a CapCut and like stitched it together to make a movie trailer,
Hmm.
fictional movie trailer, and that went pretty viral. And people are having fun doing that a lot. And that's kind of what I experimented with a bit on my the first video I played, Beyond Dimensions, the opening. I took a Midjourney image into Runway, animated it, changed the dimensions to make sure it was like a 16:9 friendly video. Blended that with some After Effects and Premiere Pro cuts I did, edits. Like either I'll create them myself, or have templates. There's like so many as a designer for over a decade. I have a large inventory of all kinds of edits that I've done previously or purchased. So combine those with the Premiere Pro and After Effects um, work, and blend together this kind of fun generative AI in animated video.
Nice. And what advice would you have for people who are just starting out? They're learning all of these new tools. Maybe they don't have the same background as you in terms of like video editing and motion graphics, but they're starting to create these cool videos, and maybe they want to make a career for themselves. Um, Maybe they're in between jobs, or they just want to freelance, or they want to be more entrepreneurial. What's your best advice for actually turning a passion and a hobby into more of a career?
Definitely. I would say modeling. like go beautiful resources, just finding other creators who are already doing what you do and the path they've laid out for you to help other people. So try to find those individuals who, constant or consistent in their content, and even reach out to them. And, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can utilize those tools. The other part I would say is outside of a hobby, one of the most important parts is also like the operation side. So how you get clients, how do you bill, how do you price your services? Those are the things that are a little bit more complex, and the operational side not so like on top of mind for creatives. But if you're wanting to start making money from it, there's a few easy ways to do that. Like even as far as Fiverr, um, Chris Doe, I believe is his name. He's the future design podcast is a really good resource. And then yesterday actually I saw this really 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 cool software startup called Wethos. Um uh the Wethos, and it's like a software for exactly that. So it's really cool to arm the creative rebels with those operational side things like in an automated way. It's really fast. I haven't used it yet. I'm still like experimenting with it, but it seems really cool.
Okay, so that's called WePost, is it?
Wethos, 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 like ethos with a W.
Okay, cool.
And
We
they kind of are trying to be the Shopify
all in
of
one software
freelancing.
for freelancers. That looks
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks great. Lots of proposals, payments, all of the rest of it. Proposal, invoicing, payments, scope of work. Yeah, looks fantastic. Collaboration tools. So we've got a specific question which is around runway. So can you modify specific frames in runway?
Not no, I don't think so. Um, like if you can generate specific parts of it, it's a little bit more randomized from what my usage of it. I haven't been able to like specify exactly what I want to generate. As a matter of fact, you can't, I think, yet. I think you just hit generate and it does its own kind of thing.
Hmm. And then in terms of automation, so you're mentioning before in terms of like changing the aspect ratio. So say you've got a social media campaign and you are creating something in Midjourney or Adobe, it would be Firefly. Is there a way that where you can hit one button and it creates every single aspect ratio just perfectly?
Whoa, not that I know of, but if you if you find it, let me know. Um, and Adobe Express actually is a tool that you can do that. It won't give you all of them, but you will be able to do it pretty quickly. You can change the aspect ratio really really quickly, and it also has the Adobe Firefly generative AI tool um, integrated in it, and it's probably to me it's the easiest one to use, the least technical, similar to a Midjourney or whatever, or any of those image generation tools. I think it's pretty similar. It's really easy, and they have a free version that's available to everyone in the public with Firefly. But if you use the Adobe ecosystem, it's a really powerful tool with your libraries. Like for what you said, you can generate that, drag it into your library, your Creative Cloud library, and then use that across apps. Pull it, because they have that integration in After Effects. You can go make it in Express, open it in Adobe Premiere Pro, take your generative AI, created brand assets, and then create an animation or a video with those assets in seconds. And all the different aspect ratios you need, you can develop in Express with Firefly.
Awesome. Yeah, any questions from the audience? So if you were to create a tool that doesn't exist yet, or like in the next couple of years, what sort of tools would you hope come onto the market to really like just make your life that much easier?
Yeah, I think the most exciting developments are I'd like to see a really powerful generative uh, AI tool that's to 3D, text to 3D, like a
Mm,
really clean 3D model of like either from an image or from a text prompt. There's some that do it now. Should say a little bit more of it, but if like Adobe had one, like in the Adobe Substance family or Google or Facebook or somebody puts out something like that, I think that will be really, really powerful.
mm,
Um, for like at scale, like if you can get it on your phone, and create these 3D models, with the, advancement of technology devices and network connections, as virtual worlds become more popular, I think it's a really cool way to express yourself. It's the most realistic and just fun way. I think that is going to be the biggest change, like when we can have 3D tools in creation as easily as we can create videos and pictures now. That's really exciting to me.
mm. Yeah, absolutely. So once we do have those tools, you'll be like creating games, metaverses. Like, what would you be doing in those worlds? Is it just playing games, or are there more like ways to use these 3D worlds?
Yeah, I think shopping, how we socialize, a lot of things we use the internet for,
Mhm.
socializing, meetings, events, concerts, like as many independent artists that make music now, or people making beats or playing guitar, if they're making 3D worlds and 3D assets, and create like the Roblox generation, Gen Alpha, you know, the way they use technology and yeah, I think that it'll just be completely immersive and just boost the whole creative ecosystem, and then the kind of mixed reality layer too, as the devices become more sophisticated, bringing those assets into the real world and like seeing those in AR, or as AR continues to develop and evolve, when you can interact with those things, and have like the digital layer on top of the physical world and be more immersive in that way. I think that's gonna be a really exciting time for humanity.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how any child would be able to sit in a school like classroom and listen to boring teachers in that world. But yeah, I think we can also learn so much from the younger generation and how they are using these technologies and iPads and everything. They it's just a lot more seamless than the way we think about it.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Xander Love. And we also have Kaylee, who's going to be presenting next. Have you guys met?
I haven't.
Uh,
I have not.
Hi, nice to
Hi,
meet you.
Kaylee. Nice to meet you. Hello, also
Uh,
Rupert. I recognize Rupert in the audience there. Hey, thank you for
Good. You know each other. That's great. Awesome. So what I'll do is I'll stop recording and then I'll spotlight on Kaylee and then we'll start a fresh recording. Thank you so much.